I need this leg going as much over his neck as possible. So I don't want to cover any of his back here. I want it straight over the neck with the heel curling in. This is the key to keeping the arm in place. When my foot drifts down, I lose the elbow. So he taps here, and I have all this room here to dislocate his elbow. Which I'm not going to do, but he knows that I can do it, right? So when we're in bottom here, we have both our legs here wrapped above our partner's hips, okay? From here, it's a great spot to attack from, but there are some difficulties, okay? Because I have Theodore right in front of me, and he's on top. He has gravity on his side here. It can get hard to get stuff working, okay? A lot of what we're looking for from here is using our legs to pull our partner in, okay? So a lot of the stuff from here is about pulling our knees into our chest to bring him forward. So Theodore, to avoid getting pulled in, he needs to put his arms somewhere safe, okay? When he gets on the inside here, my biceps, when I try to grab his head, his arm's in the way. When I try to pull him in, he supports himself with these posts here on my arms. So when I try to pull him in, I can't really do it because of these arms here, okay? And if I should try to just open my legs, he can just bring his elbow and knee together, and he can start to look to pass my guard, okay? So we don't want this. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna look at a simple way to clear these posts and then get to our grips, okay? So Theodore has his hands on my bicep. I'm gonna look to swim, my hands on the inside here. Okay. From here, I wanna start to pull him in with my knees, and I'm looking to extend my hands through, like I'm doing like a breaststroke here, like when you're swimming, right? All the way through to pull him in. So I go in, swim through here, okay? Once his hands are clear on the mat, I'm gonna take an overhook. So I'm gonna take my arm and I'm gonna go right over his tricep here. I want my hand through deep, so at least like on my sternum here, and I wanna pinch in my elbow, okay? If he's very slippery and maybe he's quick to posture up, I can hold his head for just a moment as I adjust this, okay? But I don't want anything loose here, where if he moves his head away and pulls out, and then I have to get him down here inside, okay? What I'm really trying to do is I'm looking to extend my hands through, but if I just try with my hands, I'm not going anywhere. It's when I pull my knees to my chest and extend my arms through, then I can get his hands on the mat. And make sure I pinch my elbow in. My hand here is deep, okay? If he's really slippery, I can grab the back of his head for a moment to adjust this so I don't lose him. Once I have it, we're in a position here. From here, we're just gonna test if our partner can sit up tall and rip their arm out. It should be really difficult. Maybe if they're strong, they carry themselves with us, but it should be very difficult for them to pull it out. If they're turning their heads away, guys, just make sure to really like pinch your elbow into your ribs. So if I show here on the other side, so look at my elbow here. I pinch it into my ribs, and I kind of do a little bit of a side crunch here to make it tight. When he tries to rip it out, it's very difficult. Okay, yeah, even if he's strong maybe and he sits up, he should carry me with him. It's a sign that we're attached here nicely, okay? One thing here that's important is when we pull our partner forward, we need to keep some tension here. So my core is tense here. I'm actively pulling my knees to my chest. If I relax, as soon as I pull him forward, he just sits right back, okay? So if I break Theodore down here and I just relax, he just pops up again. And guys, doing 1,000,000 of these crunches is rough, okay? But if you just have one continuous pull here, you can hold this isometric squeeze here for a lot longer than relaxing, pulling, relaxing, pulling, relaxing, pulling. So when you go through here, keep pulling your knees to your chest. Keep that tension. It's a lot easier to hold him down. Then you can get the grip. From here, you can relax a little bit more when you got everything tight. Okay. Well, let's just look at a way where we can punish him from trying to use his other arm here to free himself with this overhook. So sometimes the partner will bring their arm in to push off and pull their arm out, okay? It can seem like a good idea, and it can definitely also work, but he runs a big risk when he brings his arm across. You see here, Theodore's elbow here in relation to my hip here. My hip is right here, okay? Whenever I have his elbow inside of my hip, I have a shot of attacking an armbar. okay? So this arm is stuck. When he brings this one in, he puts himself in danger here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get to this arm. Again, I'm using that knee pull to hold him forward, and now I can use my overhook arm to grab above his elbow here. Notice that my fingers are not doing the work here. This is a shit grip. My fingers are not that strong. But if I try to bring my wrist over as much as I can here, it's a lot stickier. Now his elbow is stuck. I'm pulling him in here. Now I want to climb my legs up. Okay, so we're going to go with this armbar in 2 steps. So step 1, I got the elbow, right? I'm going to put my foot on the hip on the same side where I have his arm. And I'm going to take my other leg and I'm going to put it high on his shoulders here. Here, okay? From here, I can start to push off on the hip and I can turn and look into his ear here. Check if he has good ear hygiene here, okay? If he forgot an AirPod, I can see it here. From here, I want to lock up just above his shoulder here. So I take the foot off the hip and I cross my feet here. Pinching my knees, pulling in, and heels to the butt. Now I can let go of his elbow. When he tries to pull it out, it's really difficult, okay? We have our overhook, our partner brings their arm in. Look, I can use my hand here to help. I push and lock in. I step on the hip, look how high my leg goes here. Curling down. I move out to get an angle. Now my hamstring goes right over his shoulder. Cross my feet, pinch, and lock. From here, he tries to pull out. It's very difficult, okay? I'm in a top lock position where his shoulder here is trapped and I have the elbow inside the hip, okay? So we're gonna move to this position and then afterwards we're gonna look at how we finish the arm lock. But I want you to get really good at getting the leg high here and getting an angle. So look at my head. I start square, but I end up perpendicular. So I can look in here. And then from here, I can lock my feet, okay? This little pit stop here is important to just keep as much control as possible, okay? When we can climb from control to control until we get the submission, we have a lot higher success rate. It becomes just less stressful, right? You don't have to be as fast when you try to go from move to move. It's just overall a good idea to just be really good at climbing, pinching, and being good at controlling, especially from close guard, because a lot of work from here is working our legs up higher on our partner's shoulders and going into submissions. Okay, so rushing here is a sin that will probably make you lose your attack. Now from here, Theodore has a problem here. He has a couple of problems. Okay, first and foremost, he can't lock his hands together because this arm is stuck here behind my back. So this arm here is feeling kind of lonely here. Okay, second of all, I'm controlling his shoulders here, I'm controlling his posture. So from here, I could technically go into an armbar on this arm here, right from here, okay? It is possible, you can do it, but there's a risk that I lose some control. So if you want to get everything real nice, we want this leg over his head. Okay, the way I do it is I move out, make sure I have a good angle here. I want to take my knee, slide it over, and then look here. My knee goes high, right by his ear here, and I curl my heel to my butt here. This is what's controlling his posture here and stops him from ripping out the arm. From here, I should be able to let go with both hands. When he tries to rip out the elbow, it should be stuck. If I'm loose here, I lose the elbow every time. So the key here is when I get to here, get to this top lock here, okay, when I want to bring this leg over, I want to bring the knee high, and I want to curl my heel actively to my butt here. Keep this pinch here. So this is a test. He tries to pull out the elbow. It shouldn't happen. If I'm loose, he rips out everything, okay? So knee high, heel curling down to the butt. Okay, now I have the advantage of also having good grips here. So from here, I can let go of the overhook if I need to. I want to take his hand and I want to roll his knuckles down to my chest. Okay? Then I hit him with the homie handshake. What's up, my man? And from here, I lift my hips and I'm thinking about pushing down the hand, and I can even bring it down here. So I'm bringing it the opposite way of the thumb. So this thumb points to my right. I want to take his arm to the left. And I'm not only taking it to the left, I'm taking it down and to the left as my hips go up. So he taps here, and I have all this room here to dislocate his elbow. Which I'm not going to do, but he knows that I can do it, right? So we get in, get to here. Make sure you have a nice top lock here, guys. If you feel like the head is close, right, you can use your hand here as a blocker. Throw your leg over, knee high, both heels are curling to the butt. Now I can let go to my homing handshake here. I'm actively pushing the hand down and bringing it opposite way of the thumb, so to my left in this case. As I do that, my hips slowly go up, and there's the armbar, okay? So what we're actually doing here is just this, bringing this leg over and going to the finish. This little transition here, if his head is close, use your hand just as a little blocker and throw that leg high. Don't be lazy and have a low knee. You're gonna lose the arm. So guys, we stop with this top lock here. Take this position here as a pit stop, right? So we stop here because if we try to just go from here and throw a leg all the way over, he has a chance to yank out the arm. But it's a lot shorter travel distance when we go from the shoulder over the head. So that's why we take this little pit stop, okay? Also, I could technically start to just go on the arm from here. The problem is I can only go to here, so if he has a really mobile elbow, I need to be able to push his head back more, okay? This is why it's a good idea to clear the head first, because now I can keep extending his head away as my hips go into his elbow, okay? We throw the leg over the head, knee high, and guys, here's the trick. The feet don't go together, they go apart. I need this leg going as much over his neck as possible. So I don't want to cover any of his back here. I want it straight over the neck with the heel curling in. This is the key to keeping the arm in place. When my foot drifts down, I lose the elbow. And the elbow is the whole point here. So look at my leg, it goes over only the neck, and my heel here is curling as hard as I can into my butt. Here. When he tries to pull out the elbow, difficult. If I cross my legs, he pulls it out. Okay? So guys, I want you to just focus on the transition here. Get the top lock tight here. Okay? You can use your hand to push the head away, bring the knee high, and make sure the leg is only covering the neck, the back of the neck and the head here. The elbow out. I'm also curling in with my other leg here, guys. So both heels are curling to the butt, and from here, I can feel the dumps from my workout yesterday, but that's not gonna prevent me from armbarring. Now, with this overhook, we have kind of a cheat code. We have a really good grip on the arm, but it's harder to move our hips around when we want to attack this arm. So we need to get this hand out of the way, so we basically only have his arm and his head between our legs. It's gonna be a lot easier than try to clear all this stuff here, because it's hard for me to move my hips around here. So what I'm gonna look to do with this free hand is I'm looking to find his wrist. Okay, with a thumb down, grip, and knuckles up here. I can push his hand into his chest, and I can throw my leg over and lock here. Okay, now I only have the overhooked arm and the head inside here. If you've seen triangles before, you know that you're basically in a trap triangle position, and you can go and lock those up. But we're focused on the armbar today. So from here, same thing as before, I need an angle. Right now I'm square, I need to look into this ear here. From here, now this hand here is free to help us, so we can use that to scoot under his leg here. Now guys, this is not about taking your fingers and grabbing the leg. You can close your hand here, it's more about sticking your whole arm through, elbow deep, and kind of curling yourself in here. You can be looser with the leg position because you have such a good grip on the arm. So even though my legs are open because of this overhook, if Theodore tries to yank out, this overhook makes it difficult, okay? So see how my legs are open here? My overhook helps me control his arm. From here, when I have the angle and I can see his ear here, I want to bring this leg here. I want to bring it close in. So I'm bringing my hip right underneath his elbow, okay? and my foot behind his shoulders here. Now here, technically, I could start bridging, and I could get a pretty tight lock, okay? But to get this lock even tighter, I can throw my leg over the head, and this time I can cross my feet. Now I can basically just open my knees while I pull my heels to my butt, and I have a super strong arm bar. Because guys, his hand is already getting pushed down here, and I'm no longer just breaking the elbow over the hip, I'm breaking it over the forearm here. So I have a higher point where I have a higher fulcrum where I can break the arm, okay? So it's gonna come on stronger right here compared to here. But the trick is I need the angle. So I'm under the leg, I move out, I bring this foot in, and I look to throw it over, and from here I can cross my legs. I still want to curl my heels to my butt, but here, because it's so tight, simply by just opening my knees, it gets super tight, okay? Guys, we need to clear the other arm out of the way. Push it in, throw your leg over here, cross. Okay, now this hand is used for angle. So I scoop under his leg here. I'm not trying to grab it, so close your hand if you need to, and think about you reaching all the way through here while opening your legs. Now we have a nice angle. From here, to clear the head, I just want to bring the knee in close. I'm going to think about throwing it over his head, heels to the butt, and from here, simply by just opening my knees, it gets super tight.